Yep, I'm ready.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bullhucker podcast. I'm Moose Lundstrom.
I'm Jerry Cage.
What's up, Jerry Cage?
What's happening, buddy?
Nothing, man. It's Sunday. It's your you work today.
Yeah, some of us have to. Sure.
But when you're born good looking like this, you eat stuff for free, so you don't have to work as hard as you do. You see what I'm saying, Jerry? See how that fucking works? I bet you don't even get days off looking the way you do, my
Hey,
friend.
Nick. Can I get a day off?
We got a guest with us today. Also, we work with.
I know.
That's the we're employed with. We'll stay with that. We're employed with. I don't know about working, right?
Right.
Hey, what's up, Adam Rubio? How are you?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
It's good. It's good to have you on the podcast.
Yeah.
You and I talk about this podcast quite a bit.
Yeah, it's fun to listen to.
Yeah, I appreciate the support, man. So now you thought you'd come on and try your hand at it.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah. Are you from Fort Morgan?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, you're
yeah.
not from Greeley.
So I moved away when I was born in Fort Morgan, moved
Okay.
away when I was 4, and I moved to Greeley
Right.
and came back when I was 12.
On his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And moved back when I was 12.
Okay.
So there was a good few...
Gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there Greeley stories here today?
No.
Because Greeley's like Pueblo Junior, isn't it? Like it's kind of a crazy
especially
town
where
too.
I grew up at. Yeah,
It's getting better now with
Yeah.
all the oil field stuff, I
in
think.
Greeley. Yeah.
I think. And see, I've known Adam for years.
Yeah.
Since
Oh,
really?
Adam was
before I
a
was
baby.
even born.
Really?
Yeah. His uncle and I were best friends growing up.
Who's his uncle?
Jabel Gutierrez.
What's up, Jabel Gutierrez?
Yeah.
Welcome, buddy. Is he gonna watch
Jay?
us?
I'll let them know.
All right.
Not was, are, still are.
Damn, Jay.
I know.
And if he's not, I know who might have did it because someone just let that shit slip.
Yeah, in fact, I still have like a little group chat with like 3 of us. Every morning we talk.
Yeah, there's sometimes you tell me things I didn't even know.
Are you guys go to school together or what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's your age? Your grade or whatever?
He's a year older than I am.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it was like Greg Mayers. What's up, Greg? Jabel.
Gregory.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Well, if we go any further, I do want to say, hey, if you're new to the podcast, welcome to the Bullhucker podcast. If you're new to the podcast, what we do is we bring on a guest. Today's Adam Rubio. What's going to happen is Adam's going to tell us 3 stories about his life. Now, here's a kicker. Only 2 of these stories are true. One's either made up, borrowed, or embellished at the end. And at the end of the podcast, Mr. Cage and I are going to try and guess which one of those is not the true story.
And Larry got lucky last week.
Larry doesn't, which is good because I'm around me all the time and I don't get lucky ever in any sense of the term. You know what I mean? So,
He did lose rock, paper, scissors twice.
I'm getting my ass kicked by this guy. It's like his one superpower, you know?
Yeah, you guys keep going for good whiles too.
We not you and I. Me and Josh went for a while. Adam and I think like 14 times once. It was nuts, dude. Like,
Yeah.
where the guest is like, "Did you choreograph that?" I'm like, I don't know, really sharing a fucking mind or something. But Adam, you ready to tell some stories, bro?
Yes,
You
I
like
am.
how I waited to take a drink of beer?
He's like, yeah. Hey, you're supposed to take the lid off.
That's right. That's right. That's right. With your hand. With your hand. So.
He's all this lid
At
don't
least
want to
I
come off.
opened it.
Yeah, okay, all right. You have one hard time opening one beer, and you got to take shit forever. So, all right. You want to read them off, Jerry?
Let's do this. Singing the national anthem at the Rockies game. Whose phone is that?
Oh,
Come on.
You're all good. You're all good. It's fine. You can keep up here, man.
Rookie. Day I met my dad. Larry still hasn't met his dad.
I'm holding out hope, man.
Yeah.
Holding out hope.
I think he's avoiding him.
Mom says, you're just like your dad. I go, probably don't want to meet that son of a bitch.
And then last but not least, we have Crackhead or Exorcist.
You know what? Awesome titles, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll give you the credit for that. You want to pick one out, Jerry? Those are all good titles, Adam. They really are.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
impressed.
pretty good. I didn't know he knew how to write, let alone read.
Oh, don't let this get you about reading. All right.
I got the same education as you. You're both from Fort Morgan, so you know how.
We're gonna
spell
edit.
just as
We're gonna
much
edit
as I
that.
do.
We have sounded out hour every time I did, so
It's all right. I had to double check the spelling too. So.
yeah, okay.
Let's go with singing the national anthem at the Rockies game.
Okay, but it's kind of funny you said that, because now when you write anything and there's no phone to type it out to correct your spelling for you, you realize how bad you've gotten at spelling.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's awful.
And sometimes that really screws you, though.
Yeah.
That freaking...
You got that in your conscience that you can always go off of that.
Yeah,
like it'll fix it for you. But
when you're writing something,
when you're writing, it's like, how do I check that? What was it?
I've caught myself once or twice reading actual papers and do this, like try to enlarge it. Then I'm like, that's not electronic, stupid. So okay,
the newspaper.
Yeah, it was. That's how senile Larry Lundstrom's going to roll in Ebenezer. They're like, look at Lundstrom, he's trying to enlarge the print again.
That's awesome.
You're a Playboy, Larry. It's going to work like that.
Yeah.
The magazine's like from the 90s because it makes you feel young. She's dead now, right? All right. You said singing the national anthem at the Rockies game.
Yes. So it goes back to the high school days. I actually got to sing the national anthem twice. Once was with the choir, and the second time was alone. So the way it starts out is I was in Morgan High Singers in high school.
Morgan High?
Yeah, Morgan High Singers.
High, okay. I thought it said height.
And there's a couple of people that have been on here that know about Morgan High Singers. Some of them were in it as well.
Give me a name of someone who was singing.
The one that says, "Come here, duck." What was her name?
Oh. Thanks for bringing that back up.
Yeah, I had to. I love that. That cracked me up when I heard it.
Come here, duck.
Yeah, he's got to quit saying it. He's like my child who can't stop saying the F word. Yeah. He stops with don't say it in front of Jerry no more.
Larry's like, why'd you have to bring that up?
Yeah.
Shut up. Yeah. Come here, duck.
So Lacey Starner.
Yeah, Lacey. Yeah. She was in Singers is what we called it for short. Just every year, the choir teacher would try and he would send in demo tapes to places to see if they can sing the national anthems at the games.
Oh, that's cool.
And my senior year, when I was in Singers, he sent it out to the Rockies. The Rockies had never shown interest, is what he told us before. So they would sing them at the Rapids games, small hockey games, things like that. But we got to go to the Rockies games. And so we go there. It comes out. We show up there, and we thought it was going to be something big, We thought we were going to meet all the players, and we didn't. But we sang the national anthem. We got to watch the rest of the game. They upgraded our seats because it was a cold game, so nobody really came. Plus, they weren't really good players that year. Some good players, but
Adam, it's the Rockies, man. I don't care if it was 80 degrees, sunny, and beautiful outside. It was, let's go to that.
When they first started, though, they actually, we had the Blake Street Bombers and stuff.
Yeah. Galarraga.
That sounds too early from what I remember from. But when I did play, when we did sing, they went up against I think it was the Yankees, and I remember what was his name? Ortiz, I think.
I'm not a big baseball guy at all, man. So,
but that was one of the bigger players on the other team that I remembered. But there was Matt Holliday.
This is pretty recent then.
Yeah.
I want to say.
About
he just barely graduated.
No, 2004 was when I graduated.
He's 38.
Tulowitzki.
Tula, okay.
Yeah.
Tula, yeah.
I don't follow baseball at all, so I just, being in Colorado, I know some of the names. My grandmother was a big Galarraga fan. She loved baseball.
Yeah.
The big cat, right? So that's the only reason I know him. Holiday, and then who's the...
Larry Walker.
Helton.
Todd Helton.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Todd Helton played third base or first base for, how long?
Yeah.
Quite a few years,
Yeah. So, we thought we were going to try and get some autographs when it came to, the 17th stretch. But no, still didn't get nothing. Excuse me.
What does that mean? The 7th inning stretch? I've heard the term, but I'm not familiar. Is it like a halftime thing or what?
Kind of,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
You've never been to a Rockies game?
I have, but I was drinking the whole time.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
The tickets,
Fair enough.
the tickets were free when I worked for Budweiser, and so was the beer. So shit, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, drink.
I think
up.
that's all that most people go there for anyway.
Yeah.
So that first one, it wasn't really a biggie. We didn't get nothing. But the second time that I went, the choir teacher had sent in like solos, people that had done solos of the national anthem, and he sent those in as well. And there was a few of us that got to sing a solo national anthem.
Oh, that's very cool.
And I got to go. It was pretty intense to get that. You
got to go and sing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when he let us know that we got to go, it was like one right after the other, like one, because it was like 3 nights in a row.
Yeah.
When they do the way they do their plays,
Yeah.
or their
The
games.
series.
Yeah, the series. And the second night was me. The first, I don't remember who went the first night, but the second night, I got to go. I went, and they're big on rules when you're walking onto the field.
Yeah.
You make sure you follow those rules.
Sure.
They don't want you to step on any line, because it's
No high heels.
Oh no, I didn't learn to walk in those yet. I didn't want to walk on the rocks on heels.
That's story number 4.
But I walk out there, paying attention to trying to remember every rule that they told me, and step out there, and I sing away. Oh man, it feels so good. My heart's pounding.
Yeah.
And it's real crazy too when you're singing out there in that field. You're singing, and then like 3-4 seconds later, you hear yourself on the big
Oh, sure. No,
speakers. Yeah, it's real crazy. It's hard. It plays with your mind when you're singing too.
Yeah.
Because you need to ignore what you're hearing.
Right. Well, I'd imagine
That kind of happens in my shower.
Would you hear the?
Yeah.
You can't keep up with the beat because of the echo. I got you. I get
We
you. Jeff.
just lost the beat.
So after I get done singing, I go back to the locker room, and I thought I was gonna just take off after that, but they invited me up to the one of those boxes.
Yeah.
And oh man, their food is good up in those boxes.
Yeah.
Everything's free. The drink's free.
Yep.
I got a couple of souvenirs. One of those little bats.
Yeah.
And a cap.
Nice.
That cap didn't last very long, but
Right.
it was free. I tried to go get some autographs after, but still didn't get none then either. But
No dice.
yeah.
Have you ever been to the suites up there? Was it a suite or a box? It was a suite.
It was a suite.
Yeah. It's nice where it's got the indoor room and the outdoor you can sit at.
Yeah.
You've been to the suites there?
I don't think I've been to the ones. I've been to the ones at the Abs, the ones at the
Pepsi Center.
At the Pepsi. Yeah, at the
Whatever
Pepsi
it's called
Center.
now.
Yeah, Ball Arena.
Yeah.
I've been the one there. The one at
Budweiser Event Center.
Budweiser Event Center.
whatever,
Blue
Center,
Arena. Yeah.
When I worked for Budweiser, they do assessments. Like Anheuser-Busch come do assessments because we were not Anheuser-Busch. We were whatever. And I can't remember the dude's name, but he was the coolest son of a bitch alive. He worked for Budweiser. In high school, he used to wash the trucks and worked his way up. Now he's like the area head,
Oh, wow.
Young dude, but super cool, man. Really, really cool. After the assessment one time, and at Budweiser, there's drinking, man. You know what I mean? After everybody gets back, they crack open some beer. You know what I mean? That was just, at that time, normal. And he says, hey, tells my boss, Rick, tell the boys to bring up all their wives, friends, whatever, to the Rockies game tomorrow. And because the woman he was dating is the one who used to lease those or sign the leases, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we got to go to one of those suites at Coors Field, and you ain't lying, man. Even the carpet's just pristine, Jerry.
Yeah.
It's nice.
The food looks fake too sometimes.
Dude, it was so. They said, and it's funny because we're at Coors Field, we're for Budweiser, so like, can we put Budweiser in the cooler? And they're like, I guess. when we're leaving, man, people are shoving beers in their pockets and stuff. And this guy takes us downtown Denver to clubs. He's massive in Budweiser, so he just walks in and puts down the card. You know what I mean? Like whatever they want. Like holy shit. Yeah. So but anyway,
you're like, I already got three.
Three on me. We're walking, we're stumbling down. I'm like, who's got a beer? Someone pulls a beer out of their pants. I'm like, I don't care. I'm drinking it.
He's like, when was the shower last? God, give me that.
Go get checked. Smells like
I could have gave you this one.
At that point, I probably drank it. Because once you start boozing, But you're right; those sweets they're awesome, man.
Yeah. It was pretty awesome. And it was cool the next day going to school. Even though I got home pretty late, still had to show up to class the next day, and telling everybody about it. Nobody believed me for the longest time until the other guys in the singers class started sharing their stories about it. Yeah.
What year is this about?
2004.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say you could probably YouTube it. It's probably you probably couldn't.
Yeah, YouTube wasn't even a thought.
Well, it was around, but it wasn't big enough to where the Rockies game would have been up there the next day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, wow. It's crazy thinking back on how all these different social medias. We're back further than you ever thought.
Yeah. No, they've been around for a long time. So.
Yeah.
The old MySpace.
Yeah, I remember that.
Or the AOL dial up.
Well, Facebook was the Facebook, right? You watched the movie.
I haven't seen it.
It's crazy because back in 96, 97, there was that movie Dead Men on Campus.
Oh, I remember.
Remember that?
Yeah.
With Zach from Saved by the Bell, where his roommate tries to get his roommate to commit suicide so he can ace all his classes.
Yeah, it gives them an automatic A.
Yeah. But anyway. They referenced the Facebook in that movie from like the late 90s. Yeah. So it was around, but it just hadn't hit mainstream yet. So
it hadn't gotten big yet.
They were all around. MySpace was. Well, you had a MySpace?
Oh yeah.
Did you have a MySpace?
Oh yeah.
What was your song? Because there's always a song playing and go to your page, right?
Yeah, I would change it.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
Really?
Yeah.
With all the sparkling hearts and shit you had on yours, Jerry did.
My Little Pony.
Yeah. Jerry's like, hey, babe, come check out the unicorn. It's sweet, right? She's like, oh, my God. Just
Not again.
Waiting for you to leave her for another man. That's what she was doing. She's like, I think this dude. I don't know. But anyway, that's kind of crazy back in the day. You couldn't prove it like that. So.
Yeah. And I've always told, because I've done this before where I tell stories. And, I tell people that I sang the national anthem. And they're always like, I don't believe you. And I was like, okay, well, if you knew me in high school, you'd know I'd sang at least.
At Coors Field, huh?
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Jerry?
Interesting.
It is interesting.
Kind of want to hear some lyrics, hear him put down a chord. What's her name?
Do you know the words kind of thing, huh?
Yeah.
Although you did say something that's interesting is I never thought about the echo or the delay coming through the speakers.
The reverb.
I wonder if musicians at concerts deal with that too.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they wear those electric ears.
Yeah. But I mean, still, you can still hear it. You got to be able to hear it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's,
the decibels are how many, So I wonder if that's something you just get used to and you just get used to.
Well, I know they have that one speaker in the front.
Yeah, the monitor, yeah.
That doesn't help for nothing.
Well, it's supposed to kind of help that.
Regulate that.
Yeah.
I'll be damned. I never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I'll have to hear two more.
Yeah.
We'll see where we're at on that. But yeah, that's a good story. That's kind of something to be proud of. There's no picture of you. I feel like
nobody took. I was going to say the same thing.
There probably is because the singer or the teacher, he took pictures of us and.
Who was your music teacher?
Mr. Shank, Ken Shank.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Shank.
Yeah.
Is that in Greeley or here?
Here.
He's in Morgan.
Oh yeah, Morgan. He retired my senior year too, and that's why he had done all that too. He was trying to get everybody.
Did you get a jersey or a shirt or something? A Rockies?
No, I didn't.
Sons of
they didn't give me nothing.
I
had to go in my
wearing
tux.
a Cardinals or
no. We wore our tux, that we wore for Morgan High seniors.
So they dressed.
Yeah, I didn't get. even when it was a group, well, I could understand for the group, but when I sang alone,
Yeah.
they didn't give us nothing, just the bat and a poster, the generic autographs that were on there.
yeah.
They could have been real, but
No,
I didn't see them sign it.
No, they went big dog on you and give you a whopping $13 worth of shit. That's
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah,
But when you're a kid, it's still pretty cool.
It is.
I still have
agree.
that bat too.
Really?
Yeah.
I just laughed that there's a Greeley teacher named Mr. Shank, because in Pueblo, when someone named Mr. Shank, that they take that as a challenge.
Oh.
Like, oh, you Mr. Shanked. You know? All right. We got one down. We got 2 left. Day I met my dad in Crackhead or Exorcist. Well, there's one that always pops out to me the most, so I want to hear that last. So instead, let's hear Day I Met My Dad.
All right. So, the day I met my dad, I was around 12, 13 years. I think it was 12. So, growing up, I had thought my dad was the same as my brother and sister's dad. And when I was about 10, my mom told me that I had a different dad. And, oh, man, when they say your life can flash before your eyes, that's a true meaning, or a true thing that happens. When she told me that, like, there was a whole bunch of things that came into my head where I was like, oh, man, I believe you. Like, of course I'm going to believe you because you're my mom telling me this. But
Like you always tell your sibling you're adopted.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because the other 2 Cage brothers look a lot alike. They act alike. They have the same mannerisms.
I know.
When I met Steven, I was like, I was getting him shit, and I thought to myself when I went home, I was like, maybe I'm right. Maybe Jerry is the milkman's kid. Maybe old Larry Cage didn't knock the butter into this one. But just saying. But anyway, please.
No, so I mean, there's like little hints here and there that my cousins would give me. Like, one of these days, your mom's gonna tell you something that's gonna totally change things in your life.
Right.
And I was like, that's weird. Something weird to tell me. You know, I was maybe 8, 9 years old, but they were always giving me little hints like that. And when my mom told me, all those little hints just flashed into my head. Like, is this what he was talking about?
Right.
And sure enough, you know, like, well, couple weeks go by, and my mom tells me she got a hold of my dad, my real dad, and she wanted to know if I wanted to meet him. And I was like, yeah, of course I want to meet him. You know, I want to meet my brother, sister, if I have one. Make sure I don't get into a relationship with them either, you know, because it's a small town. I don't know where they're at.
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, is your mom with your siblings' dad?
No.
He's not in the picture.
Neither of them.
Okay.
From when I was born.
I was going to ask you if he was in the picture, how he felt about you going.
Oh,
but okay.
Oh, no.
Okay.
So she lets me know that she's going to reach out, see if she can get a hold of him. And it took a while. Like I said, it was like, I was like 10, 11 when she told me, and I met him when I was about 12. And it was real crazy the day that I met him, because I was like in my dreams, because my mom told me he was going to be trying to come over and meet me.
Yeah.
And in my dreams, I kept dreaming of this weird guy in the dark, you know, in a shadow. And in my dream, he would tell me he was my dad, like, and it was kind of creepy. I'd wake up scared. But I was like, oh, that's a little weird. And I'd just go back to sleep. And then finally in one of my dreams, he came out of the shadow. And I saw his face. At first, I didn't recognize it. And he still told me he was my dad in my dream. I was like, I don't even know what my dad looks like. So I don't know if you could be my dad or not. And
next day he sees a guy in a van.
No,
you want some candy, little kid?
He's wearing a Rockies jersey.
Look at this signed jersey.
He's the third baseman. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No problem. So about 3 months goes by, and still having them dreams, and I get a knock on the door, and he knocks on the door. I answer the door, and he's like, is Olivia here? That's my grandma. I lived with my grandparents growing up. And I was like, yeah, let me go get her. What's your name? He's like, my name's Ricardo Avalos. And I was like, oh, okay. And in my head, going back to go get my grandma, I was like, why does that name sound familiar? That name sounds really familiar. That was my dad's name.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he didn't know I was his son that answered the door. I didn't know he was my dad. So I go and get my grandma. I was like, Grandma, I think my dad's here. And she's like, what? I was, yeah, my dad's here. He wants to talk to you, but I think he wants to talk to me too.
Yeah.
So my grandma goes, answers the door, and she points to me. She's like, yeah, this is your son. And we start getting to know each other there in the living room. And next thing I know, so that's the part of meeting my dad. The funny part of this story is, I don't know, it sounds a little creepy, even though it was the first day I met him. He asked if I wanted to stay the weekend with him, and I was like, you know what, you're my dad. I've been waiting for this moment my whole life.
Yeah, of course.
I want to see what it's like to stay with you, you know?
Yeah, of course.
And so we head to his house. He's always lived in Commerce City, just different areas around there.
Yeah.
And on the way out there, they asked me, so what did you think when we knocked on the door? And I was like, to be honest, because the way you guys are dressed, I thought you guys were some Jehovah's Witnesses knocking on the door.
You said we. Who's he with?
Oh, he was with his wife,
Okay.
my stepmom.
Okay.
And at the time, I had only had 2 sisters, so
I got you.
it was me, my 2 sisters in the back seat, my stepmom, and my dad.
Okay.
We were all driving back, and they asked me that, and I was like, I thought you guys are just some Jehovah's Witnesses coming knocking on the door,
Handing out pamphlets.
yeah. And I didn't get no laugh from that. I was like, what the heck? And she's like, well, we are Jehovah's Witnesses.
I was like, I knew that was going to come.
my
I knew that was going to come.
I felt so bad.
Can I go back home?
That's the way I felt.
We need to
like,
turn around.
I was like, oh my gosh.
They just said that because they don't want to buy me a birthday present.
That's it. That's what it is. He's trying to get his quota up.
Yeah,
I got another one.
birthday presents.
I got
no
another one sold.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh man. And from that moment, like, things were just awkward every single time I went to go meet up with them or do anything around them. And I'm not knocking on the religion or anything. It's just not for me. I grew up Catholic, and learning some of the things that they taught me about the Jehovah's Witness religion, there's no way I can even think about going to that religion.
I met a girl in Pueblo, Michelle. She was Hispanic, and it blew my mind because where I come from here, all Hispanics are Catholic, or high percentage.
Right.
There's very few that I knew. So when she goes, I'm Jehovah's Witness, and I go, not Catholic? I thought that was just a small town kid having my mind blown a little
Mexican,
bit.
you're automatically Catholic.
Yeah. That's what you're wearing a Virgin Mary T-shirt. You know, you got it airbrushed on your car. So I mean, I kind of figured, you know, but do you have a relationship with him now?
Not really a good one.
Okay.
But it is there. He has. I mean, I've learned the things that I need to learn from him.
Sure.
Without him, I probably wouldn't have moved forward in my life.
That's cool.
With my family.
Yeah.
We'd probably be stuck, like, renting a house, living month to month.
Yeah.
Things like that, you know. We never really got too close until my grandpa passed away.
Okay. That's the grandfather you lived with.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of things changed in my life when that happened.
Yeah.
And him and I did get a little closer, but we still don't visit each other as much as we should.
Yeah.
I wish we could, but it's just with my kids and sports and all those things we do as parents, I don't have time to go over to his house.
Do your kids, are they familiar with him at all?
Yes,
Or they are.
Yes, and oh man, they love my kids too.
Yeah.
My kids love them. I've spoken with you about my relationship with my mom somewhat, and we're closer to my dad than we are my mom.
Okay.
So,
How's she doing, by the way?
that I know if she's doing good. But like I told Larry, I don't really talk to her.
It's added on. It's weird because I have a lot, almost the same story as him. Almost, I mean, my dad was 24 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that was him and I have a great relationship now because at one point in time, I made peace of the fact that, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, you never know when you're going to be in that same boat. Yeah. We've all had our fun. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, it was the first time I was going to meet him. I called him on the phone when I was 17. And we were on vacation in Pueblo. And I was like, I just want to meet you. I don't want nothing from you, whatever. And
Right.
It was State Fair time. I said, I'll meet you at the State Fair by Prairie, on Prairie Street. And he goes, oh, okay. Meet here at this time. And I sat there for 6 hours waiting for him. He never showed up. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I think you told me about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get it. It's a long story. Episode 50 is my episode where I tell the story. But it is the most awkward thing when you finally meet your dad face to face. You know what I mean? Because then it's like, he doesn't know what to expect. He doesn't. It's the craziest situation. And I found out I have a brother and a sister.
Yeah.
Well, two sisters, but they were young. So, yeah, John's 13 and Tiffany's 14 years younger than me. So, you know what I mean? You're almost like a big brother / father to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the one thing I forgot to say is that when I did see him, when he knocked on the door, I was like, that face looks so familiar. And it took me a couple of days to realize that same face was in my dreams. That when he finally came out into out of the shadow, that was the same face I saw. It was kind of trippy. I was like, I didn't even know what he looked like.
Yeah. Did you see him? When did he? Because was your mom and him together when you were born for a while?
So they were so my mom split with my brother and sister's dad, and she just went out on a fling and got pregnant. And that I understand, they got back together, but once I was born, he split.
Peace out, boys.
Yeah.
He never even seen you born.
No, that's the crazy thing is that he gave me my name, and he gave me my godparents. They were there at the hospital with him, so it was weird.
That's cool.
And that's why when they let me know that when my mom told me I had a different dad, and I was like, why did you guys not tell me this sooner,
Yeah.
And I think we all knew.
Yeah, everybody knew in the family.
Yeah, we all.
Like, even my cousins, they were hinting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all. I knew about it.
Really?
But because we used to go over. Was it the place over in Landmark? That he met up with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, but it's a touchy subject, right? It's not.
Yeah.
Not your place.
It wasn't my place.
Yeah. So.
No, for sure.
Kind of crazy, man. Kind of crazy.
Poor kid. Let's go drink some beer, Jay.
Yeah.
How do you like Jehovah's Witnesses there?
I can't take any more of this.
Yeah, Jehovah's Witness. That's a wacky ass religion, but that's,
it is. And I have a few aunts that are in that religion.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, we see them, and it's not like they're like whipping pamphlets out on you, trying to pressure you or anything. But it's, I guess over time you kind of just get used to what you can say and what you can't say. You
can't say bless you.
Oh, see, I'm not worried about stuff like that. But I mean, talking about birthdays and stuff like that. It's
that was the other thing I kept doing is like every time somebody would sneeze, bless you, and they just ignore me. I'm like, okay, never mind.
Gesundheit, you weird bastard.
Yeah.
But my great aunt Ruth is probably one of the most religious. I said my grandma was. My aunt Ruth really did when God took a vacation. He puts Ruth in charge for when she was around. She read the Bible every day. I mean, she knew it front and back. She was crazy. One day, or not one day, but whenever Jehovah's Witnesses come to the house, dude, and she'd invite him in. I wanted to tell him, like, run.
She's like, yes.
She's all, sit down, let me get your water. And she'd shuffle in and grab the Bible. And I was like, oh, she's gonna hit him with that damn Bible. And she sits down, and here's the first thing she says. She's like, I want to talk about my Bible too, because your religion's not real. So, and I was like, that's a great opening dialogue to create more dialogue, Auntie. But and you know what? They were always younger guys, like 18, 19. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if they leave here Catholic, and then you can't blame them. You know?
They're like getting ready to get up, and she's like. You hear the seatbelt come on. Oh no, dear. Where do you think you're going?
Where you going, bitch? She's like, birthdays. You never had birthday cake? Look at Lawrence. He's never missed a birthday cake. You think he'd be able to Jehovah's Witness?
Skeleton in the corner. He's still strapped to a chair.
Go lick his mouth. It tastes like frosting right now. All right. What do you think about that, Jerry?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, I've known Adam for, like you said, before he was born. So I've known him, his whole family, very, very well.
Yeah, long time.
His mom, his grandma, I guess, his grandma and grandpa were like step parents for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we would go over there on holidays,
birthdays.
Yeah, it was
anniversaries.
Like we would walk. We'd just go to my house. We'd go to Jay's house. We'd go to Gray's house. We'd go to Joe Rodriguez's house, man. I mean, it was just like, I'm surprised we didn't weigh 400 pounds.
Yeah, I remember some of the parties, too, that we'd have, and then my Uncle Jabel and his friends would be coming over. That's when you know it was a good party.
Party with a bunch of Jehovah's Witnesses. That's something.
Right. Yeah.
You guys don't believe in birthdays, but you believe in the cocaine? Oh, okay. All right.
It's got to draw a line.
It's good for heaven, brother. All right. Speaking of, we got one last one. That one probably should have been the last one. That's a great story, by the way.
Yeah. That was pretty good.
I'll be a little upset if it's a little tweaked, and that's the one that's the Bullhucker. But,
right.
But it's cool. I like it because I relate to it. So I get it. All right. One last one. We have crackhead or exorcists.
Yeah, so still to this day, I don't know what it was, but so it starts. I think I was about 14 years old. Just got into high school. I was a sophomore then, and my aunt was living with another friend of hers that they had grown up with. I don't know if you know Rosa. I forget her last name. Anyways, she had lived out on West Street, or not West Street, Sherman Street. There used to be an old Jehovah's Witness church out there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And there's 2 apartments down in the basement. And just over the time that my aunt was staying with her there, my aunt would call. She'd be freaking out, saying that, Rosa, she's like she's screaming in the restroom. She's saying that she's seeing blood coming out of the shower, things like that. And we're like, the fuck? That sounds crazy.
Right.
So a couple of weeks go by, and my grandma gets a call, and she's like, Mom, you gotta come. You gotta bring the holy water, and I don't know what's going on, but she's sounding like a demon. So it was me, my brother, my grandma. My grandpa just happened to be out of town that night.
Which aunt is this?
Loopy.
Okay.
Yeah, she was staying here for a while, and her boys were with her too when they were there, and so her boys were there at the apartment also. So we get there, and she's freaking out. Like, it looks, when you see the movie Exorcist, it looked like that. She was freaking out. Like, it wasn't cold. Well, I mean, it could have been cold,
right?
But our adrenaline was going so strong, we didn't feel any temperature difference. But
was there a record of drug use of this particular person to begin with?
At the time, we didn't know.
Okay.
But we end up going there, and like I said, she's like, looks like she's having a seizure, and all of a sudden she starts talking, and it sounds like a man's voice, and she can sound kind of manly, but she's still got that feminine voice. Well, like I said, when she started talking like a guy, we're like, what the heck's going on?
Yeah.
Come here, duck.
Oh, that was a good spot. But
don't egg him on. Don't.
I got that joke on my kids when I heard it on the podcast. I had to spread it too. So Jerry, keep on keeping on.
I hate you.
So my brother at the time also, he was into like witchcraft and stuff. He was a little different.
There goes.
I may need to explain some more after, but at the time he was in that Wicca stage.
Yeah.
And he knew how to do weird things, and he started doing like an exorcism on her.
Yeah.
And my grandma was there too. We were holding, it was 4 of us teenage boys. And my aunt, Lupe, and my grandma, we were all holding her down. And like as soon as they splashed holy water onto her, she friggin' lifted us all off of her. We're like, what the heck? This is ridiculous. Like, she's ridiculously strong right now.
Right.
So that's where I was thinking, is this a real exorcism or something?
Right.
Well, the night goes on. She's like starting to calm down finally. Nothing burned. Because my grandma like put the cross to her forehead and everything.
Right.
And nothing burned, but it was crazy. Every single time they shocked her with the holy water, she would like lift us up. And finally, as the water bottle that we had, every Catholic's always got those water bottles of the holy water.
Yeah, everything like a little fountain.
Yeah.
Does your wife?
Yeah, we do. Yep. It's a little like plastic container with the cross on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You never know when you come across like exorcisms or vampires. I get it. I get it.
I'm like, you have to keep that shit away from me, you know.
She probably got it for you.
That shit burns.
She probably has it because of you. You know.
So the little bottles are getting empty, and she's calming down, and we like stay there for the rest of the night, and things don't get any easier. Like it just feels so uncomfortable, and we end up finishing the night off like as if it was normal, like it was something normal that would happen. And me being 14, I was like, man, I gotta go to school. Like, this is kind of weird to talk about at school too. I don't know if I should bring this up.
Right.
And then years go by, and we found out she was on drugs by her husband. So we still don't know if it was. We don't know if she was on drugs at the time that had happened, or if it was an actual exorcism.
Well, there's certain drugs. I mean, they don't feel pain. They don't feel restraint.
Right.
So that's why the strength comes in. You know, you don't.
Yeah.
You extend your muscles to a.
Yeah.
You're not. You know.
My wife, she worked with some of the police officers as security guard at the hospital, and she would tell us stories about like when they'd go to arrest a crackhead that was going crazy.
Yeah.
How many times or how many guys it would take to hold them down. I'm like, geez, maybe it was a crackhead.
You heard of the guy named Rodney?
Scarface.
You heard of Rodney King, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was on angel dust, right? So that's because those cops couldn't bring him down. That's, I mean, shut up.
Do you want me to open that for you? Come here, Larry. Give me that duck.
There you go. All right. But yeah, he was on angel dust, and that's why
you got that wrist overworked.
No, it's strong. I'll snap your neck with this wrist. You seen the horror movies where you're trying to run away and they break through the wall and grab you? When I shake with this one, it's like, a 12-year-old girl. When I shake with this one,
it's just with these two fingers.
Yeah.
It's the palm that he's not got.
Yes. But that really works this right here, so I don't get tennis elbow at all. I don't get what's that shit called? Yeah, you make fun all you want.
He's only used to these.
Yeah.
Makes it feel longer on the stroke.
That's why when I write, it's real dominant. You know what I mean? Because those muscles are. Legit.
The impressions on the pencil.
Yeah. I have seen your guys' signature, and sometimes I wonder why it's so feminine looking.
Because she likes to be pretty. Leave her alone. All right, you judgmental pricks. So what'd you think about that one, Jerry?
I like it. You're talking about the one on Sherman, right?
Yeah. South Sherman.
Yeah. I used to drive by that because we used to live out south on 119 is what Sherman turns into, or 19 what Sherman turns into. And I called it the juvenile hall.
Yeah, it's a creepy place.
I thought that's what it said instead of Jehovah's Witness. When I was like, 3 or 4, you know. Is that the juvenile hall?
Yeah.
My dad's like, it's freaking Jehovah's Witness. So, and obviously I still have.
When I was growing up,
I don't even know if it's still there.
Our fence was
the building is.
Is it?
I think the building's still there.
Our fence was an Elcar fence. That must be the people who put it up. I always said it's electric when I was younger. My grandpa's like, it's wood, bud. Oh, yeah, electric. He's like, we're going to buy this kid a helmet.
Larry, did you ever touch an electric fence?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no. Peed on one.
I was going to say you probably peed on a few then.
I liked it. So, all right. It was
stimulating,
tingly and new. Gave my hand a break, so it was good. All right. We got 3 great stories, Mr. Jerry. Singing the national anthem of the Rockies game, Day I Met My Dad, and Crackhead or Exorcist. So, when we decide how we have to pick first, we rock, paper, scissors. What are you, Mr. Rubio?
I'm a 3-pumper.
Attaboy. All right.
Attaboy, girl.
Ready?
Ready.
Damn.
Solid. Come here, duck.
This is horrible. All right. So I do have one in mind, Jerry, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, so do I. I think Day I Met My Dad is a true story. Unless it's a little piece off, but I don't think it is. You had a little heart and soul when you told that one. Excuse me. Crackhead or Exorcist, I lean to a little bit. I'm going to go against my better judgment. I'm going to say singing the national anthem at the Rockies game is a true story. You might have had that happen. I'm going to go with Crackhead or Exorcist. I don't know, man. My gut tells me to put the singing the national anthem, but for some reason I think it's Crackhead or Exorcist, so I'm going to stick with that one. I'm going to go Crackhead or Exorcist. Jerry, what are you thinking?
I'm doubling up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to double up too. I almost went with the Rockies one because I don't know if there was some. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he did it with the group and he didn't get an individual sing.
Right.
Because he wouldn't give us any chords. I could hear him in the background.
I'll sing for you guys later. Jerry, you've heard me sing in the bars. We would always sing together in the bars.
I don't remember that.
I think we were too drunk then. I wasn't.
You guys see on the parking lot, Rubio is singing to Jerry Cage right now. I'm like, not for nothing. They're together now. Just so you know, it's a secret. So hush, hush. They fucking
jealous much.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna go with the Crackhead or Exorcist.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we flip that over, though, I do want to say thank you to the Brush Emporium once again. Thank you so much for bringing us, letting us have this space down here to have our podcast studio. Rubio, what do you think?
Oh, it's awesome. When I walked down here, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty cool, but I thought it was a little bigger.
Everybody says that. Everybody says that they think it's bigger when they see
all of his girlfriends say that.
Yeah, too. They do. But you know what? They also say it's awesome when it's done. Hey. It's so tingly. Anyway,
because I was holding
that electric charge.
It's because he was holding the wooden fence.
The electric wooden fence, you dick. All right. Anyway, Brush Emporium, thank you so much. They've been so awesome. You've eaten here before, you said.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. Oh yeah. So you're gonna grab something on the way out, you said. Oh, yeah. If you haven't been down here, what are you waiting for, man? They have great pizza, wings, pasta, you name it. Come on down, check it out. Support a local family business, right? And if you want to buy a gift upstairs, they have all kinds of cool stuff. It's all homemade stuff. It's all local vendors. The gifts upstairs. The Bee has moved in down there. We have a bunch of collectibles now here also, so it's kind of a antique antique feeling up there. So Pam Steiner has brought a lot of that stuff in. If you want to do an old school family night, come on down here. They have a great seating area and a bunch of old school board games up there. So teach your kids how to play some Risk or Battleship or some Candyland, right?
Just stay away from the piano.
What's with the piano?
Oh no, we had a party here with the football team, with my son's football team, and those kids did not read the sign.
Do not touch the piano.
Do not touch the piano if you don't know how to play it.
They not know how?
No, they did not.
They didn't take their musical cues from Uncle Rubio.
Right. That's funny.
So anyway, Mr.
And
Cage.
if you noticed a little subscribe button on the bottom there, either on the right, I always forget if it's on the right or left-hand side, but give it a little click because it's a small click for you and it's a huge click for us.
Huge click for us, man. Do we appreciate all the support. So having said that, we've been doubling up a lot lately.
Let's do this.
All right, we're going to go crackhead or exorcist. What do you got there, Mr. Rubio?
All right.
Singing the national anthem. I knew it. I somehow knew it. What's not true about that?
I didn't get the solo part.
Damn it.
I was thinking in my head. I was like, oh, he knew.
Yeah, it just seemed like the most generic one. I say generic to an extent where something could have been there, but then like I said, the crackhead or exorcist. That's tough.
That makes sense, though. You're a pretty good liar.
We've met our match. The Bullhucker. Oh.
Damn it.
Yeah, that's crazy. So,
and I just got done saying it, too, didn't I?
What's that?
Yep.
I said, I don't know, but I'm thinking he probably didn't get that solo.
Yeah, I thought that my gut told me to pick the same thing. I switched at the last minute.
I did sing solos though, just not at the Rockies.
So low nobody could hear him.
No.
Low. So singing Day I Met My Dad, true story.
Yes.
That's a cool story though, man.
Yeah.
It's too bad you couldn't do you aspire to have a better relationship with him?
I try to, but just with the way things have gone in his life and things have gone in my life, I don't think it's ever going to be as good as I'd like for it to be.
Okay.
And I don't have a problem with that. I'm sure if he had a problem with it, he would work harder on it.
Yeah.
So I think if we're both at a good spot, I'm happy with it.
If you're content.
It probably inspired you, though, to strive to have that relationship with your kids, though. So,
exactly. Yes.
So I see the the pros and cons to that.
Yeah. If this situation would have never happened, I probably wouldn't be the man I am today.
Thanks for walking out, Dad.
Yeah.
So now I know whose fault it is.
But I don't. When it comes down to it, after he's talked to me and told me like the story from his side and everything that my mom said, I don't believe my mom very much. She's a compulsive liar.
Right.
So it's sad to say, but that happens.
We'll go into that later.
Yeah.
Not the time.
It's crazy though. I mean, always give it a chance. Leave that door open, of course. But yeah, like Jerry said, maybe it was one of those things he taught you how not to be a dad. Exactly.
And the person that did teach me to be a dad was my grandpa.
Yeah.
And I pray to be just as good of a dad as he was.
What was Grandpa's name?
He was great.
James. Jaime.
Yeah. Heavenly, what's up, Jaime?
Yes.
All right. Grandma's still around or no?
No, she passed away too.
Also. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough.
But you're young,
Yeah.
who didn't have a little fling here and there too?
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's I'm not mad at my dad. I'm not mad at my mom.
Hard,
Yeah.
You never know what's going to pop up and smack you in the face.
Right.
Everybody had their fun.
Yeah.
Cooper was always telling me that one of these days I'm going to end up on Maury.
With a black eye, 'cause I bet your wife.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen,
You are not the father.
Yeah. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you.
You're still getting punched when we get home because you might have been the father. You son of a- I was 15 and a hoe. That's crazy. Crackhead or exorcist? True story.
Yes.
That's kind of crazy. I mean, I believe heavily in that stuff. If you listen to this podcast,
yes,
yeah.
That's why I brought it up because I was like, I know you.
We kind of talked about that. Yeah. I don't know. think they're just craving attention.
There's some of them. Some of them. Yeah.
I have
This
a
is the
couple
only
of
time
stories.
my family comes over. I gotta literally crawl up the wall.
Yeah. Spit green shit everywhere. As they're sitting in hell, what'd you do to get down to hell? I just wanted attention. I just wanted to be seen. Then I'm here, get a pineapple shoved up my ass. Yeah, 5 times a day.
I actually have a couple of kind of creepy stories like that.
All right. Yeah. Let's go. Well, let's go back on. But we have something new come up in the new year. Maybe you can do it then. So.
Right.
Because there'll be parts where you can do that. So, Adam, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad you finally came on. It was kind of crazy. You said because you talk about it all the time. We have to talk about the podcast. That's how he came on for the first time because you started listening to it, and you talked to me about work about the podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you should come on and do it. So then it's the first time we had. I wasn't going to drink on these things because I didn't want someone to say something they shouldn't have. But then this asshole showed up.
It makes them. I'll admit, it makes it easier to talk when you had a couple of drinks.
Were you nervous?
I actually do good in these kind of situations. I actually wasn't nervous.
And you're 2 guys so it makes it
Right.
Yeah,
easier.
that's probably what it was too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Rubio,
It helps.
thank you so much for coming on, man. I
No
appreciate
Thanks.
it. You had a good time, though?
Oh yeah.
All right. This will be out in a couple of weeks, so I'll let you know at work, and we'll talk about it. And I'm going to cut some parts out. See, that's the power of the edit, baby. But anyway, I'm Moose Lundstrom.
I'm Jerry Cage.
Hey, we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.